Hello, everyone. Yeah, so what me and the person that I will be introducing soon were talking about is that my internet was fine because we wouldn't be on a Discord call if my internet wasn't okay. And everything was fine yesterday, and I didn't change any of the settings from yesterday. So, for now, we're just going to do this on YouTube and see what happens, and hopefully everything will be okay, because if it's not, then I will, hurt YouTube. So, but the good thing is that we're still live. I'll probably do something different on Twitch tonight, just to be able to stream over there. Because I do know that I do have now viewers that are solely Twitch and solely YouTube. Yes, strangle YouTube. Yeah, I know. All right. Well, let's get into this. I hope everybody's doing very well today. But this is actually going to be more of a podcast stream than anything. I know that we usually play games on these sorts of streams, but today we have a very, very special guest with us today. So let us get off of this starting screen so that you can see her. And welcome in, Emily.
Hi.
Hello. How are you? You're like, oh my gosh, wait. Is everything okay?
Red in the face.
It's like, wait, what's happening? Yes, so
my heart is like pounding.
Oh my gosh,
and
really?
Yes, and I am Groot. Well done, Rooster.
Yes, well done, Rooster. I'm proud of you. Go, girl.
This is like my favorite mug. Hi, Gus. Hello. Yes. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
How is everyone? How are you, John? After all this?
Oh my gosh. You know, I'm just glad to be live. I completely destroyed all of my alerts for the week, though. So you know, no alerts. Yeah, exactly. Like it'll be fine. We'll be fine.
It's fine. Well, look, we made it. We're here. It's okay. Mm-hmm. And thank you guys for being patient with us.
Yes,
obviously. The constant Discord notifications can get.
We love the Discord notifications.
Oh yeah, we do. We love it when a certain couple of mods forget to @ everyone.
Fitz.
Don't know who you're talking about. Who's Fitz?
Who's Fitz? Taking Christmas lights down and yard work. Nice. Have fun. I hate yard work. I can't. Oh, you can see.
I hate taking down the Christmas.
Guys, look, it's my mouse.
Oh, you can see it.
Y'all, we're so professional here.
It's fine.
Shh.
Fine. I took down my Christmas lights the other day, and oh my gosh, the living room. Well, because I do the main bits of the decorations with the Christmas lights. I'm like so particular about them. I'd like decorate the whole tree. I do everything, and I took it all down, and I was just like, "What is all this extra space we have? Like, the tree could stay there for the rest of the year."
If we really wanted to, it could stay there.
It could stay there all year round. I don't think my dad would have that though. He would be most unimpressed. Most unimpressed. But it was an absolute nightmare.
So I was streaming one day, right? Now I can't remember what day it was, but I had my window open because it was dark outside. So like it wouldn't have made any sort of difference if I had it open or closed.
Yeah.
And at that moment, the Christmas lights that I had that were on the side of the roof here. So like, I know you can't see it, but where I am in adjacence to my house, I'm on the second floor, and there is like where the roof caves in is like right here. And we had Christmas lights up, and all of a sudden, I'm not kidding you, the Christmas lights turned off, and then I was freaking out because I just heard I was like, oh god, no. Like, please, like, I'm going to die.
You go, like, all out with your Christmas lights. Because obviously, you know, you get, like, the typical For being British, bearing in mind, like, we do Christmas lights, but obviously you guys do it extra. Do you do it extra? You do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, explain. Give me your Christmas light rundown.
Okay, so my Christmas lights... Well, before I go into that, I need to finish the story first, because I didn't even... So, I was like, what is wrong? Like, is everything okay? And I looked down, and it's the freaking Christmas light guy taking down the Christmas lights. And I was like, first of all, I didn't even turn the Christmas lights off. So he either unplugged them or just like turned off something. And I was so freaked out. Like, to the point where I was done. Like, I looked out the window and I was like, nope.
I was
like, I put the window up and I was like, this is fine. I was not having it. Imagine having someone put up your Christmas lights. Well, I come from a upper middle class family, so we have the money to be able to have Christmas lights, but it is interesting because I do know a lot of people that aren't able to have that sort of privilege.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me, it humbles me a lot. Because
you appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it a lot. Like, I grew up in an environment where people were like, oh, you're rich, so, like, you must be either dumb, pretty, or you don't know anything about the world. And I was like, okay, well, I'm pretty and don't know anything about the world. So you got 2 out of the 3 of them. I was like, like, to each their own.
I love it. See, Christmas lights, like, especially on, like, houses and stuff, it's very rare to see here. In my town alone, like, you won't see, like, the whole town completely decorated.
Yeah.
And there's, like, a cul-de-sac that does it for charity, like, right up the road from me, which is really cool. So they just ask if people want to come and view the lights, they can, and then just chuck some money into a bucket for, like, I think they do it for, like, cancer research or something like that. So, it's, like, all going to a worthy cause.
Yeah.
But it's not, like, I mean, they tend to go, like, big and wonderful, but not to the extent that typically, like, the stereotypical, like, Christmas lights that you think with, like, Americans do.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting to see, like, the differences.
Also, for all of you guys that are on stream right now, if anything happens in the stream to where something's not working anymore, just, like, let me know. Because I don't know what's happening. So we'll see. Well, it looks like it's fine.
I was going to say it's fine on my end as well.
I was like, it's fine on my end.
Yeah.
I honestly think it may... Oh my gosh, Fitz.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm getting, like, a lot of playback errors on my part, so it may be just my YouTube being, like, really dumb. So, I mean, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
The people on camera right now, well, we're fine. Like...
I straightened my hair for this. I put on makeup.
She straightened her hair, y'all.
I don't think you guys realize how long it takes to straighten some curly girl
hair.
I
did my hair. No, I did. It literally took me... It takes me about 15 to 30 minutes to do my hair every morning.
Really?
That's why I don't do it all the time.
In the mirror, like, being like a little perfectionist.
No, literally, that's what I do. I like spray the hairspray and then, like, gotta curve it over and then spray it some more and flatten down the edges so that I don't look like everything's poofing up on the sides.
That's fantastic.
I can't, but, like, also welcome in everybody. I don't think I've said hi to anybody in chat. But this is the Hot Cocoa Council. Today we're doing it as a podcast with my friend Emily. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things. So if you have any questions for us, like topics that we'll talk about today, majority of it is going to be like America versus Great Britain and like the differences that we see between, and we already talked about like Christmas lights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions for her, have any questions for me, or have anything you want us to discuss, just let us know so that we can do whatever you want us to do. But we were talking earlier about about the fact that I haven't played Minecraft before, but I have a Minecraft sword on my wall.
Yes.
And we were like, wait, we have to wait until stream to talk about this.
Yes. So basically what happens is I saw John's little Minecraft sword in the background, and I said it looked like a little sticker that you put on like your like webcam kind of display from your computer. Mm-hmm. So I was like, is it real or is it actually like there on your wall? And he was like, no, it's on my wall kind of thing. It literally on my screen, it looks as if you've chucked like a little sticker on your webcam.
Yeah.
And so then you were saying that you got it from
my big in my fraternity. And what we were talking about was my big in my fraternity. So if you don't know what big brothers are, it's basically whenever you join the fraternity, you are the little brother or little to somebody that has already been in the fraternity. And it's sort of like, and it's in sororities as well. It's just this kind of thing that helps you, like join the fraternity, feel like you're already being involved and like all this sort of stuff. And they kind of guide you through the whole process and into like whenever you go into the fraternity and all that sort of stuff. So my big brother is a woman because my fraternity is a co-ed fraternity. And there aren't a lot of those. So there are a lot of fraternities that it's all male, but there are some, including my own, that we have both male and female. And that's just because of like what my fraternity is. It's a music fraternity. So we don't really think about male female as opposed to like who will help the music school or music education more. And so we have a sorority sister chapter, and they are Tau Beta Sigma. So I'm Kappa Kappa Psi, they're Tau Beta Sigma, and they're also co-ed. So it's very interesting because the difference is that if you're a woman in Kappa Kappa Psi, you are considered a brother of Kappa Kappa Psi. If you are a male in Tau Beta Sigma, you're considered a sister of Tau Beta Sigma.
I like that.
Yeah,
like that.
It's funny because like you see people from like so many different backgrounds coming in. Like you'll see like the most feminine of women being called a brother, and like it's just natural. That's just what you do. And
I really like that.
Well, and like nobody thinks about it like differently because it's just how it's been. It's how it's been for like the past so odd years. But where I went to school at Baylor, we didn't make Kappa Kappa Psi co-ed until I was a freshman there.
Baylor's near where you live, right?
Mm-hmm. It's about 2 hours away. Okay. But it was interesting because Kappa Kappa Psi became co-ed like in the early 1900s, like 1930, 1940.
Wow, okay.
But
that's quite strange as well that early on.
Mm-hmm. But the thing was that you could, oh my god.
I can't not support this. 2021 is off to a fantastic start.
I'm going shopping for food. Did you see how red my face got? Thank you, Fitz. I almost cried. You think a co-ed would have a different name or something. That's what the thing was. And here, the other thing is that Kappa Kappa Psi and Tau Beta Sigma, when they both went co-ed, they decided that the schools themselves can decide whether or not they want to be co-ed or not.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's cool, but at the same time, our school, Baylor, went co-ed in 2015, which is like 75 years after the whole fraternity went co-ed. And my big was the first woman in the fraternity because she joined like the year before, but the fraternity wouldn't let her become a brother. So she went through like the whole entire process, and then at the end they told her that she couldn't be a brother because they weren't allowing women in the fraternity. And I was like, wow, Baylor, like Baptist University, all about inclusivity, and you're not going to include a woman in your fraternity. Like, you're stupid.
Too right.
And now the Baylor Kappa Kappa Psi chapter is like 75% LGBT people and women. So it's like
that is so good.
It's just funny because it's like it shows how you can go through like the whole entire process and see, like, I joined whenever the first woman was already there, and now and I was like one of the first people who was out about my sexuality.
It feels like a part of history, doesn't it? Like, especially for the university.
And we talk about that all the time. But it's true, there are a lot of people that get confused about that. They're in the music school itself, like in the School of Music, there are 5 music fraternities and sororities that you can choose from. Kappa Kappa Psi and Tau Beta Sigma are service fraternities and sororities. So we pride ourselves off of service to the music schools, service to the bands. Like, on marching band days, we're the ones that, like, give out Gatorades to all the people who are marching. We're the ones that clean up the fields afterwards and all that sort of stuff. Then you have another co-ed, which is Mu Phi Epsilon, and that is a professional fraternity. So they're built off of, like, being very esteemed, very, like, this is where all of the conductors go to, like, be more professional, be seen as professional, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You have, Sigma Alpha Iota, which is another professional sorority, but they're all girls, and they will forever be all girls. And then you have the brother chapter of that, which is, oh my gosh, why can't I think of, it's Sinfonia, and I can't remember what, like, the actual words, like, what the actual Greek letters are before, and it's, like, honestly kind of pissing me off. But they're the all males, and at our school at Baylor we had 4 of the 5. So for me, we had 3 co-ed and an all male. So I could choose from all 4 of them. But it was very interesting, like, the different dynamic that you have between all the groups. There was no way I was joining Sinfonia. Those men, no. Like.
You wouldn't want to be surrounded by a load of guys.
It's like, hi, Sinfonia chapter at Baylor. Hi, it's me. You know me already because we love each other.
Imagine them just watching this back now, like, what?
I love y'all, but, like, not for me. Were you?
It's interesting to see, like, the difference between, like, because where did, like, your, like, the Greek side of things, like, come from with your colleges, not universities?
I don't even know. Like, it's honestly, fraternities and sororities have been a thing for so many years. Like, I'm sure we could go back and, like, look into history and see, like, the first fraternity, the first sorority, and stuff like that. But it's interesting. Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia. There we go. That's the name of this.
Few minutes too late, it's fine.
You know, it's fine. It's fine. But it is interesting thinking about it, because, like,
completely.
Because, like, I know the history. I know the history of Kappa Kappa Psi, but, like, for for all the other ones, like, I wouldn't know. So it's very interesting to see, like, my sister's in a sorority, and her sorority was founded before my fraternity, but my fraternity is well known through the music school side of things, and her sorority is well known as just like a really big sorority. So you just get all these different things.
Obviously, this is going to be really stereotypical, but please forgive me.
Oh, girl, you're fine.
I have no idea.
No, you ask. Yeah, keep asking away.
System. So, is it literally you all live in a big like mansion, like house kind of thing?
Is
literally it?
There are people that do that. Like my sister, they have a sorority house on their campus that houses like 200 sorority women. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It is a mansion. It is. They just built it. I wish I could show you a picture of it, but it is huge. But at Baylor, like for like universities like mine, we actually have a rule that has Gus.
And love you both.
Thank you, Gus, for the $30. Thank you. Beautiful. But at our university, there's a law that prohibits us to have fraternity sorority houses.
Really?
Yeah. So like we don't actually have fraternity or sorority houses, but there are like apartment complexes and things that like that's where the fraternity lives. That's where the sorority
do you have
lives.
Like dorm rooms?
We also have
campus.
Yeah, we have dorms on campus, but the dorms are majority for like first and second year university students. So like freshmen and sophomores, they're usually the ones that live inside.
I was going to say, do you still call them freshmen?
Yeah, we call them freshmen and sophomores, or first and second year college. But we do have dorms, and the cool thing about, I don't know, every university is going to be different. So like you have universities that are going to have dorm rooms that are like open to like everybody. You're going to have some that have like male-female dorms, and like you have some that people can stay for like as long as they want. But how can you have toga parties in dorm rooms? It's true. You can't. You can't have toga parties in dorm rooms.
Please tell me, John, please tell me you've had a toga party.
I've been at a toga party before. I have.
You've been? Okay.
Yes.
And you were in like the gown with like the white bed sheet and everything. Like
all the everything. Like I had the little leaf crown, like, you know.
I'm so proud of you. That's made me so happy to know that you've been to a toga party and that they do actually exist.
Yeah, they do exist here. And the cool thing, so at Baylor, the cool thing about how our dorm rooms work is that the dorms individually, they all have what are called living learning communities.
Yeah.
So inside of the dorm, they have these communities that have like different events and different projects and stuff like that that focus on like a subject. So like one of the dorms was like education. So like the freshmen and sophomores that were going into education would live in those dorms, and they'd be able to find that community before they even like go to their classes and stuff like that. The dorm that I lived in, Heritage House, was the fine arts living and learning community. So everybody that was in my dorm either had fine arts experience if they weren't majoring in a fine arts, or they were majoring in music, they were majoring in film, digital media, like anything fine arts related. And it was really nice because I lived... It's always funny when I tell this story. I lived, my freshman year, I lived on the 4th floor, the highest floor. I lived in the wheelchair access room, which was the biggest room, because I'm not kidding you, I lived with 5 other men. So there were 6 people living in my dorm room. And we have to do this thing before we go and live in the dorms. We do this thing where we fill out a sheet that tells us like we tell them like who we are basically, and like things that we don't stand for, like things that we would want. Yeah, well, they matched us up like really, really well, because I lived in my room of 6 people. There were 3 gay people, 2 bisexuals, and somebody that was questioning that later came out as gay. And so we all were just like, okay. We all got there, we all figured out each other's sexuality, and then we were like, okay, ground rules. I was like, we are not dating each other. We are not doing this. Yes. I was like, I'm not.
I was like, the one rule.
No.
The number one rule.
I was like, this is not happening. If you want to, then don't tell us and leave. Like, I'm not getting in the middle of that.
It would make things so awkward.
Mm-hmm. But have you gone to university?
No, so I'm still due to go to university. So I'm doing like a pre-course, like a pre-university course.
Okay.
To like get into university to then study my nursing degree.
Mm-hmm.
Because, take it from me, kids who are, watching right now, pay attention in school. Don't do what I've done. It's the short answer. It's literally, it's the long and the short of it.
Mm-hmm.
I could have focused more in school. I didn't. Admittedly, I was ill quite a lot of the time. So my education just kind of slipped and stuff. And I had other things like behind the scenes going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I still could have tried a lot harder than I did. And I just flunked half of my exams. Like when I say I flunked them, like I had to retake the year when I was 16. So all of my actual school year was a year ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did 1 year of, I don't know what you guys call it. We call it college at this point where we're 17 and we do what's called our A levels. I don't know what your guys' equivalent to that is.
Is that like an exam?
Yeah.
Okay.
So between the ages of so our school system at the age of 16 you take what's called your GCSEs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's at that age of 16, and then you go on to do your A levels, which allows you to get into university.
Oh, okay.
Right,
so
university.
So on the American side of things, I think I know what you're talking about. So we have like junior high and like senior high. Yeah. So like junior high is where you have like the 14, 15-year-olds where they're just like coming into the school system, like going into high school. And then afterwards, whenever you're like 17 and 18, junior and senior year, that's where you go off to like the senior high school or just like plain high school at that point. But yeah, Fitz, you're correct. So like your A levels are like the exams that help you get into college. We have those same things as well, but we call them the SAT and the ACT.
Okay.
And
so yeah, that's definitely got to be the same things.
Oh yeah, it's very much the same thing. Like it covers like all the concepts that you would need to know throughout the school. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So with us, so our secondary school education, it starts from the age of 12 and runs up to the age of 18, and it's mandatory now that you stay in higher education, because what you could have done, I could have left school at the age of 16 and gone to work full time.
Wow.
There was nothing stopping me from staying in school. I could have gone and worked. As long as I got a job, I could have gone and worked. They then changed the law so that everyone had to stay in higher education till the age of 18. And then after that, the higher education could have been an apprenticeship. It could have been a college course. You could have stayed on at your school if they had what's called like a sixth form, which ours had it built on to it and everything to do your A levels.
And is for that
and get some form of degree.
Is that for all of the country, or is it just for like a specific section?
No, for all of the country.
Okay, see, that's crazy because here in the United States, every single school district is different. Like every state will have something different. Like in Texas, we have like more than 1,000 school districts that all have different requirements, different things that happen. They all have the same, like, okay, these are the grade levels, these are the exams you have to take, and this is what you see whenever you go into college. But everybody's different with, like, required courses that you have to do and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's a school district that I know of that's in, like, West Texas, like, all the way near where El Paso is, if anybody knows where that is. And they don't require you to take science courses. Like, they do not require you to take biology. They do not require you to take chemistry. And I think that's, like, so absurd. Like, to me, that's
mandatory for us. Mm-hmm. Like, so we have to take, so it's a mandatory thing. We have to take English, maths, science, and a language. Mm-hmm. 4 mandatory subjects which we have to take. It used to be that we had to take either history or geography, but then they scrapped that by the time it came to me when I was doing my exams. So...
But your history is European history, right?
Not strictly. It's all to do with, obviously, like, the World War and everything.
Yeah. I would
but more so obviously on, like, our side of things.
I would love to see
very different.
I would love to see one of your history books and see how different they are compared to ours.
I will tell you now, it's not written like Shakespeare.
Yeah, well, ours isn't written like Shakespeare either, but it's like
normal.
Yeah, I hated.
Most people think, like, we're posh, don't they? Most people think that, you know, one must hath vows, you know. Oh my God!
You almost made me spit out. One must thou hath.
Honestly, people think we talk like that. We don't.
I can't believe that.
We are so apart from, obviously, you do get British people that are very posh and speak very, very eloquently and pronounce absolutely every single part of the word that there is.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm just common. Like, everyone's like, I think, to be fair, actually, Gus is much well spoken than me, and he is on the outskirts of London. So you'd think that he'd be more of, like, a Londoner talking, but he is very, very much better spoken than I am. See, I don't pronounce half of my words.
It's funny. I love Kaiser bringing up this point. So me in Texas, we are required in both high school and college. We are required to learn Texas history as well as US history. So, like, not only do I have to learn about, like, the United States and, like, everything that's happened from, like, when we first were established and, like, all this sort of stuff, but we have to go through, like, a whole year of Texas history and learning about, like, Texas culture, how Texas was originated and all this sort of stuff. But the funny thing about Texas history is that it's written by Texans. So you don't get the full story until me in college was learning about Texas history and was like, wait, we killed people? Like, I was like, what happened? Also, it's...
everyone's got blood on their hands. Have you got snow? Don't tell me you've got snow, haven't you? Oh, I hate you. Honestly.
It's snowing in Texas.
I want to see.
I don't even know how... Well, I could like, turn the camera, but, like, you wouldn't be able to see it anyways.
Yeah.
Let me see. Paige had a really good question that I wanted to go back to.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is the LGBT community different in the UK as it is in the United States? As in, is the UK more or less accepting of the LGBT community?
So I think I would say we are more accepting. So for us, and specifically near me, there is what's classified as, like, the UK's, like, gay capital. So is it San Francisco, which is, like, your gay capital? Is that what's kind of considered the gay capital? Is it San Francisco? Like, I'm just purely going on stereotypes.
There's no. You're fine. Okay. Yes, you can say that San Francisco is, like, the gay capital of the United States, but. Yeah. Like, in every state, there's, like, a gay capital. So like in
Yeah.
California, it's San Francisco. In Texas, it's Austin. In Illinois, it's Chicago. So like you have these like hubs of like places. Like New York City is like the gay capital of the United States, if I were to say so. Yeah, because New York is actually like where you find all like the gay clubs, the drag queens, like like LGBT wise, New York City is where you need to be. But San Francisco, San Francisco is basically an equivalent of that as well.
Okay, because that's all kind of like, obviously, I know, as I said, stereotype.
No. You stereotype all you want.
Go off and everything. And please, as I said, correct me if anything is, whatever I'm saying is ever incorrect, you know. But I mean, to kind of just compare it, so Brighton is a town or a city near me, and it's on the coast of England, and it's full of all the weird and wonderful. You could walk down the street in a bin bag and people wouldn't even turn their heads. Like, that's how much people can really be themselves there, you know. And it's literally, it is gay central there, and it's perfect. You know, I love going down there because it's different and it's not the norm, and it's nice to see people being able to express themselves. So we have gay pride, obviously, as well as you guys do. We have our own gay pride. We do the same thing. Like, it's become really, really big over the years. Really, really big. Like, they do floats, they do massive street parties, everything. And obviously with Brighton, because it's essentially considered the gay capital of the UK, it's like everyone's having a party. You can't get in or out of the city. Like, if you're going down there, you might as well just go down there and stay for like 2 to 3 days. You're not getting out.
Well, it's interesting because like I would love to see how the UK does that sort of stuff, because like in Texas, like we have pride, but it's also like very shunned upon, so we have to like kind of maneuver around and be like, okay, where can we go to feel safe, you know? And
see, there's none of that here, and not, especially in Brighton. In Brighton,
it's just crazy because like there are states that if I went there, like I would act like straight. Like I would literally lower my voice, get rid of any sort of fluctuation, and I would just be dead on, be like, I have a gun or something like that. Like I don't even know. But it's crazy how in so many other countries, including like the UK now that we're talking about it, like, you don't have to worry about that sort of stuff. And of course, there's going to be people that are like, I don't agree with that. But like, how many times, like, if I had to count on my hands, like, if I had to count on my fingers the number of times that I've literally been talked to about people not liking my lifestyle, like, I feel like it wouldn't be like that in the UK, would it?
Well, for example, so one of my school friends, who, I mean, I don't really keep in contact with anymore, but, you know, I follow them on social media and stuff. He was a she. So he's undergoing all the transformations. He's had surgery, he's taking testosterone, and he's going through a complete change. And honestly, there is not one single piece of hate on his Insta. At all. His Insta, his Facebook and everything, there is not one single piece of hate. And not saying that there would be and everything, but you know, if he was trying to do this years ago, back when we were in school, guaranteed people would have had an issue with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's also like school dynamic and stuff like that factored in.
Yeah, but even still, I think over the years, especially here, it's evolving. Time's changing.
Yeah.
You know, you run with the times, don't you? And if the world's taking it that way, then you're going that way.
Yeah.
I don't care how anyone wants to identify, as long as they're happy.
Yeah, and that's
as long
what.
as they're comfortable in their own skin.
That's what a lot of people are now focusing on. It's like, are you happy? Are you healthy? And those are like the two things that you need to focus on rather than, is this a sin? Is this like all that sort of stuff? Because whenever I was in high school, when I came out, I had a lot of people that were very vocal about like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I don't want you to talk to me and like all this sort of stuff. And I mean, it was fine because it really helped me realize at that young of an age that like, I don't need to focus on what other people tell me because I'm just going to do, it's like, I'm going to do my thing. And if you don't agree with that, then don't get near me and don't talk to me. And you'll see, like, I'm going to be happy and healthy. And if you're going to be down in the dumps because you can't find a girlfriend and you're judging people all the time and that's why you can't find a girlfriend, then, like, I win, you know?
Yeah.
Plus the fact, like, I was just so dumbfounded by these freaking high schoolers. I'm just like, how did you not know I was gay? Like, literally, well, like, even to myself, like, I didn't know I was gay until I was, like, 18, but, like, I had the highlights. I had the blonde hair bleached. I had the high voice.
God.
I was the skinny, scrawny kid that did anything feminine that I could do. I did dance.
Okay, so
I
sang.
were
feminine.
Oh, yeah. I'm extremely feminine. And it's funny because, like, you don't see it here. Like, when I'm streaming, I'm, like, all video gamed out. But, like, I played with, like, Barbies when I was younger. I played Littlest Pet Shop. I wear makeup sometimes. Like, I've done my nails, like, stuff like that. And, like, those seem like stupid feminine things. But, like, in the long run, it's interesting because, like, for me, I was like, this is normal. But for everybody else, it's like, wait, excuse me? And
who says guys can't get a manicure? I can't tell you, right, how nice it is to look at a guy who's got nice hands and nice nails.
Yeah, exactly. See, she gets it. You get it.
I can't tell you how nice it is to look at a guy and go, actually, yeah, you don't like, especially when guys bite the nails. My little brother does it. My little brother bites his nails and they're like right horrible and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how his girlfriend likes it. Like, it's disgusting. Go get a nice manicure. Go treat yourself, guys. Honestly.
So Paige said, conservative Christians like to harp on completely debatable parts of the Bible to make an excuse to discriminate against others. Meanwhile, they don't even bat an eye when it says to help people in need. That is a true fact. I don't know, are you religious?
I am to a degree. I believe that there's a God, but I don't preach. I don't go to church or anything. I don't believe strictly in the Ten Commandments, like kind of thing, like, you know, like. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't.
Oh, I completely understand.
There's right and wrong to everything that you do, and I think to live by some dusty book's set of rules, and you're not living for yourself. And I don't believe that is the way that we were intended to live our lives, and that's not how we were intended to be created. But what I will say, so half of my family are Mormons, and I'm assuming people know what Mormons are. So it comes from my mum's side of the family, and my mum was never a Mormon. So my grandparents, my mum's mum and dad, divorced, remarried, two different people. And when my mum's mum remarried, she remarried a Mormon, and that's how it came into our family. And then my aunt, so my mum's the eldest out of her brother and sister. So it goes my mum, my aunt, then my uncle. So my aunt and my uncle and my mum all started to become Mormon. My mum was only in it for a couple of years, then thought, nah, fuck this shit, I'm out. You know, thank God. Could you imagine how I would have been? Like, there would be not even wearing this top. Like, they're literally like they.
Oh yeah, no.
Conservative as anything. No makeup, no nothing. So then my aunt, still Mormon. All her kids, apart from a couple, which I will get on to, not Mormons. Or they are all Mormons apart from a couple. And then my uncle, he married into the church as well. Had a couple of kids, divorced, left the church. Okay. And years ago, all of that was frowned upon. Like, if you divorced and that, they really didn't like it. You know, you were supposed to be good, you were supposed to be great, you're supposed to be following like all their teachings and stuff. My side of the family, we were really heavily looked down upon because we didn't believe what they believed. We were literally the black sheep of the family, in my grandparents' eyes, because, you know, I'm going to be completely honest. I've smoked. I vape now. I've given up smoking, but I vape. You know, we drink. They don't even believe in drinking caffeine, so I couldn't even have a cup of tea, kind of thing. They wouldn't have any tea or coffee around there. It would literally be hot chocolate, no fizzy drinks. It would be hot chocolate or water, which is great. Hot chocolate's fine, but they are so conservative in their ways. They don't believe in contraception. And a common misconception is that they have like 5 wives. They don't. Once they're married, that's it. They're married to that one person. Because I can safely say my cousins aren't married to 10 other people. So growing up with them, obviously we were looked down upon, and they are very black and white in their views. They always had been. You know, they didn't like what we were doing. We were always cast out, kind of thing. Yeah. Until very recently, one of my cousins got a divorce. His Mormon wife then ran off with another man and then got pregnant. She literally and then one of my cousins came out as a lesbian, and that was a shock because apparently they didn't see it coming. But she's very masculine. Okay. And obviously I know stereotypes, you can't go on it, but we all saw it. Like we all knew. And she'd been clubbing, she'd been doing drugs, she'd been going off and doing her own thing. Like she went wild. It was literally like an untamed beast had come out of its cage, kind of thing. And she went for it. And this all came out just before Christmas, because now she's living with her partner, which is great. I'm happy for her. But obviously the whole stigma of Christians and their views, they are very strict on it. So my aunt is not the happiest about it, but actually she's accepted it because at the end of the day, it's her daughter. Yeah. My grandmother was like, I kind of always knew, it was kind of a bit obvious, you know. So actually to see them come around to the idea is quite nice, considering how strict and everything and how black and white their views were over the years. It's quite nice to see them actually go, do you know what? 21st century. Yeah, so I have a story. So when I was in college, my 2 roommates were like super conservative, and I love them. They're still my best friends to this day. And it's always funny because whenever we would be talking, it was always like, oh, gay this, gay that, blah, 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 blah. And like they were fine with it. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, John, stop being such a fag. And I'm like, oh my God, stop being so straight, you hetero. And like, we would just like joke around about those sort of things. And they, like, I love them to pieces. There was a friend of theirs, though, his name's Ben. And I hope he's watching. Ben, if you're watching this, I am talking about you, bitch. Okay, so, sorry, I had to preface that. So, So we all thought, so he's super conservative Christian, and we all thought, like, considering how weird he was about homosexuality and stuff like that, we all actually thought that he was like a closeted homosexual. Because it's not uncommon. Well, like, we just thought like everything that he said was so weird that we were like, what is up with this guy? And like, he got drunk one night and he was like, man, like, I've seen everybody in this room's dick except for you, and like pointed at me, and I was like, and you're not going to. Like, and like, for somebody to talk about like being straight and like going over the Bible and stuff like that and getting like drunk off of his ass, first of all, like, no. But it gets better. So we're all, me
me, my roommate, his girlfriend at the time, and Ben were all at a table, and we were like, I think I was studying for something. We had like dinner. Something happened, and Ben just started going on this rant about why homosexuality is a sin and like all this sort of stuff, and how he doesn't understand my lifestyle. And I was like, all right, let's talk about it. Because I'm one that I don't get angry. I just want to educate, like I want to be able to be like, I understand what you see, but let me share with you like why that is either wrong or if there's a different perspective. Yeah. So he's going off about like, I can't believe that like you would date guys like it says in the Bible in like Genesis, blah, 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 blah. And I'm over here like, do you not understand that I go to a Baptist university where we are required to take 2 semesters of Christian scriptures and heritage?
Oh, geez.
And I was like, and I looked at my roommate, and he kind of just like gave me the go ahead. He was just kind of like, he just kind of looked at me and he was like, yeah. And it's like, you can go off. And I was like, okay, I will. And I was like, okay, so you're talking about Genesis, right? Well, that is in the Old Testament and blah, blah, blah. And I was talking about like all this sort of stuff to like bring up my credibility. And I was like, and you see whenever you get into the New Testament in 1 Corinthians that you're actually talking about being friends with your neighbor. And whenever you do that, and I was doing that, and I was literally popping scripture off the top of my head. And he was like, well, that's not true because in the New Testament, I was like, what about the New Testament? And I was like, you want to know something else? The Old Testament, God was a bitch. Like, raining down, like, plagues and frogs and darkness, and you're about to tell me that I'm going to get stoned? I was like, first of all, the t-shirt that you have on is polyester and cotton. You know what that gets you? That gets your head chopped off in the Old Testament. You want to come for me again? And like, I was raging, and he was like, I was like, yeah, I'm not talking to you anymore.
Lesson learned, guys. Do not piss off John.
Well, I'm just like, if you're going to make an argument, if you're going to argue with me, know the facts behind the argument.
Completely.
Because that's why I got so angry, because he was so nearsighted that he couldn't see like what was going on. And I don't care, like, if you give me hate for saying what I did, like, I am Christian. Like, I follow the Bible, I follow the Testaments, like, all that sort of stuff. And I have been educated, I've literally been educated over Christian scriptures and Christian culture and history. And it's so funny how people just look at the Bible and they're like, this quote is why the gays can't do this. And I'm over here.
It's just ridiculous.
And I'm over here like, okay, well, did you look at like the sentence afterwards? Like, it's so
They're
funny.
just picking. But that's the thing. They are picking a tiny piece of information out of a book about that thick. And then it's the context of it, isn't it? That's
well, and that's what a lot of people do. Like, it's not even a religious thing. Like, people will find something that goes along with what they are arguing about, and they don't understand. And that's why I hate when I was in Christian scriptures. So at Baylor, Christian scriptures is a required course that you take your first semester of your freshman year. So when you get into the university, that is like the first class that you have to take.
They like really try and drill it into you then.
Well, it's not drilling religion into you.
No,
it's
but
just
if you're first, like, that is the one thing which you have to do straight off the bat.
Yeah, it's the one thing you have to do straight off the bat, because if you don't do it, then it's really hard to like get the courses that you were supposed to do and then do it at the end of your semester. So it's like, if I waited until like my 5th year to take Christian scriptures, it wouldn't have worked just because of scheduling and all that sort of stuff. Well, we're all freshmen. We're all first semester freshmen. We don't know anything about the university. We know nothing about each other. And like, we're going through this Christian scriptures class. Now, the good thing about the class that I enjoyed was the fact that we had so many different people coming from different backgrounds. And at Baylor, like, this is going to sound really bad, but Baylor has like a 90% Caucasian student. Like like the 10% other is like everything else. So like I was blessed to have a class that had like a very good melting pot of people from like African American, Islamic people, like people that were from different countries that were coming in to study.
You could have a genuine conversation with these people and actually find out things about them, and actually it's having an adult conversation.
And
see where, you know, where you have different aspects and different perspective on things, but you can still come together and appreciate those things.
And that's why I was like, and our professor was like a really, really old white guy, but he was always like, he told us like at the beginning of the class, he was like, this is not to brainwash you. Like, I am not here to preach anything. I am here to educate you over what the scripture is. And so whenever we had these sorts of talks and conversations about what does this actually mean, like, there were so many different perspectives, and like every single time he would tell us like, that's what the Bible is. Like, the Bible is like, it is scripture, but it can be interpreted in so many different ways. So of course, me being like one of the only gay people in the class that was like open about it, it was really funny because there was this girl that was talking about like, well, whenever like the Bible says that the Romans were like having sex with each other and they were like all men and that they were going to get stoned and blah 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 because of it, doesn't that mean that homosexuality is a sin and that you must be punished for that? And I kid you not, the professor literally looked at me and was like, John, you want to talk? And I was like, all right. I was like, let me tone it down. Let me get my water. Was like, gotta get my voice ready. And like, it was a good conversation. But at the end of it, she was like so gung-ho over this fact. And there was this like super straight dude that was on the football team of Baylor. And he sat like in the front row. And he just like turned around and he was like, I can't even remember like what he said, but he said something in like the range of like, bro, can you just chill? Like, he's gay, you're not, like, who cares? And it was honestly like the best thing because she was just like, I was like, the football player said it. I was fantastic. Like, and that's why I have like this love-hate relationship with my university, because you have those people that are just like, I'm so religious and I know everything about Christianity and like no other God exists and like all this sort of stuff. And what's great about it is that whenever you look at the university as a whole now, majority of us are actually more liberal than conservative. And like we're passing...
I think that's generally like the way that the world is going.
That it's like, literally what it's supposed to be. Like, you go along with the times and it just happens. And
definitely.
It's separating the people that are kind of living in like the good old days, you know, good old days, and then the people that are like going with the tide, you know?
And I mean, fair enough. Obviously, you get like the very, you know, how do I put it? Like, you know, like Buddhism and that. and like you get like the typical like Chinese monks and stuff like that. You know, those people out in like Asia, in Far East Asia, for example, who typically wouldn't be evolving with these times, but they're more spiritual, less religious. So the whole point of acceptance and everything kind of comes a bit more naturally to them.
Yeah.
So I think like a nice little kind of touch of that is probably making its way over, because a lot more people, especially here, a lot more people are spiritual more so than they're like religious here. So it's very interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, like, it's just
like Scientology. Scientology is classified as a religion, and it's made its way over here quite a lot over here. Like near me is the main church for Scientology for England.
Okay.
And it's quite interesting to see, because they don't try and kind of because a lot of people think like with Scientologists, like it's a cult and they're gonna like try and get you in to then brainwash you. Actually, they've never come, I think they've only come knocking at the door like once in the whole time that I've lived here.
Well, it's funny
and
because
I've had more Christians come knock at the door than them.
Yeah, and it's like, it's funny because that's what people see. Like, whenever you are looking into cultures and things like that, you think of like, oh, they're gonna come knock on my door and like try to brainwash me about like all these sort of things. But like, you have to understand where that sort of culture is coming from. You know, like you wouldn't have people knocking on doors to be like, hey, like there's a god and like you don't follow God, so like what's wrong with you?
Exactly. I think religion's a very tough one. Me personally, because of the type of job that I'm in and everything, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you've done, you're getting treated the exact same as everyone else. You could be, you know, the Lord of, I don't know, the Lord of Wessex, whoever, you know, it doesn't matter. You could be royalty or you could be a prisoner. You still get treated the same. It doesn't make a difference. You know, we get prisoners in work all the time. And with that, obviously, comes, we don't know what kind of crime they've committed.
Yeah.
We aren't allowed to know, obviously, what kind of crime they've committed. We just have to treat them as if they are another person.
Yeah.
And I think it gives you quite a good outlook and perspective of things, because we've also had a what's called a lady, because obviously you get these lords and ladies here, you know, that is actually a thing. And there was a lady who was in at the hospital that obviously I work at, and she was like, you must address me as lady. And I was just like, I'm not going to address you as a lady, quite simply because you are just another person here. Yeah, just as I would, we've had celebrities come through our door and they haven't been asked to be treated any differently.
Yeah.
I know, do you know Katie Piper?
I've heard the name, yeah.
She's so basically she was an acid attack victim. She got treated at our hospital because we're a burn specialist hospital. She just had loads of treatment at our hospital. These people, they don't ask, you know, anyone, they don't really ask to actually be treated any differently. It's only the odd few that you get. But again, everyone gets treated the same because you're all receiving the same treatment.
And that's like, and that's what it should be. Like, that's how it should be wherever you are. Like, no matter what job you're in and all this sort of stuff. Like, and I feel the same way as you. In the education field, like, you come across so many people that come from different backgrounds. And it's interesting to see, like, these students that are so afraid to be themselves because of where they come from and, like, what their family is. Like, I've had students come up to me and tell me things, and they're like, don't tell my parents. Like, my parents don't know this information. Or like,
what age students do you teach?
I teach middle school and high school.
Okay.
And it's just so crazy how like, and I don't mean to say this, I wouldn't know perspective because I'm not a father, I'm not a husband, I don't know like how to raise a child. But hate is not something you are born with.
No, it's not.
It is taught. And that's what it just baffles me when I see students in the hallways like trying to bully somebody over a backpack, or like a kid coming up to me crying because they're like, I'm gay and I don't like, my parents are going to kick me out of my house, and like all this sort of stuff. And I've even seen like teachers in the state of Texas, whenever they talk to parents about these sort of issues, that the parents will go like behind the teacher's back to go up to the school board and be like, this teacher should not be a teacher anymore for these certain reasons. And
the thing is, that makes you fearful for your career. You know, if that was to happen to you.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like, I'm not fearful for my career, because when I think about it, if there's a school district that's going to fire me based off of me trying to express to students that they need to love themselves and love other people, then that's not a school district I want to work at anyways.
Right, that's true. That's
true. In interviews, like if they're like, well, you got fired from the school district, like tell us more about that. And I have to be like, you know, like they didn't like the fact that I was homosexual, and they thought that I was preaching it to people, but what I was actually talking about was that you need to love yourself and you need to love other people, because if you don't, then you're going to lead a life of sadness. And
it's not hard to be kind.
It's not, but it's so hard. It's hard to hate, but it's not hard to love somebody. Yeah. And that's like, I just being, I don't know if it's just me being gay or like whatever it is, but like growing up in the education field and seeing these horror stories of teachers like not being able to put a picture of them and their partner on their desk, or like not being able, because at the beginning of the year, this happened like a year ago. There was a teacher, and I can't even remember like what state she was from, but she was an art teacher, and she was having a slideshow at the beginning of the year for her students to see like what she's about, like who she is, and she posted a picture of herself and her wife, and the school district fired her because a parent said that she was trying to manipulate the kids. And I was like, never get that. Why would you, like, I don't understand why a parent would go to that length to try and just sabotage somebody's career.
You know what I think it is? I think it's fear.
I think it is too.
I think it's fear. I think it's fear that it's fear that because they don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't understand that actually just because a teacher may be gay doesn't mean that your child will end up gay.
Exactly.
You know?
But that's what they're scared of.
It's not like it's a cult. It's not like they're going to brainwash them, you know, but they just don't understand that. And it's that fear of they're going to lose their child, and their child is not going to be the way that they want them to be. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you're living your life, your child's living theirs.
Yeah.
You can guide them, but you cannot make those choices and decisions for them.
Mm-hmm. In the school district that I student taught at university, before you get your education degree, you have to go student teach for a semester at a school. Yeah. And the school district that I student taught at, the middle school band director that I was studying under, we had so many conversations about these sorts of things. And he tells me, like, there are kids that they're only like, 10, 11 years old, and they're already taking their SATs. they're already like, their parents are telling them they cannot be anybody else other than a doctor or a lawyer or somebody else. And it makes me crazy because I
You can be
literally,
whoever you want to be.
I was in class one day and there was a kid in class that asked the band director, he was like, does this band class go towards my GPA? And I was like, you are in 6th grade. You should not be worrying about a GPA. Like, how do you even know what that is? Like, I didn't know what that was until I was like a sophomore in high school. And
I had, like, our equivalent, we had no idea, like, at that age, you know.
But it's just like, it's the culture. And there are so many different cultures that, like, where I went to student teach, it was primarily a very Indian culture. And that was what the thing was that the parents were extremely strict on their kids because they wanted them to become like either the people that they couldn't become, or they want them to be successful so that in the long run, like they view success as like becoming a surgeon. They view success as being a like rich lawyer, whereas they don't think of success as being somebody that you want to be. And I feel like that's the greatest success.
The really funny thing about all that is that, especially over here, because obviously, you know, I work in the healthcare industry, so you have to spend, I think, is it 9 years in med school here to become just a standard doctor, and then you have to do 3 years of training in hospitals, rotation training in hospitals, rotating around all these different departments, going around to obviously all these different departments that you want to do. So that's what's called like an SHO. So that's literally fresh out of university, and then you can take your registrar exams. So then that's kind of progressing up the ladder one more step. And all the while, you've still got to pay off this 9 years worth of student debt. I think it's about 9 years. And then you've got to take you can go for your senior registrar, which you have to take another set of exams for to become a senior registrar.
Okay.
And then after that, you have to take your consultancy exams. By the time you've taken your consultancy exams, you're mid-40s.
Okay.
And you are still paying off your debt from when you've just come out of university, still all those years ago. In the NHS alone, a doctor, surgeon, only probably makes, like consultant-wise, about 100k a year. My brother's already making that. My brother's literally already making that, hasn't gone to university, works in marketing, has a whole team beneath him.
That's crazy.
It's all private work as well that builds up the extra money. A lot of our surgeons, we have a private hospital that's literally attached to ours, like, and they do all the private operations there because obviously they get a better cut out of it. Yeah. And it is absolutely insane to see actually how hard these people have to work. And if you fail any exam twice, you're out. That's it, done. No more.
They do something similar for whenever you are in college, like you have to do, in order to get like certified for, like, for instance, myself, I had to take 2 exams to be certified to become a teacher. And like, I think it's after like the 5th time you take the exam, if you fail, like you can't get the certification. But I've never heard of like if you fail twice. Like I feel like that's so unfair.
But I mean, same for a nurse, except a nurse is only, we have to study for 3 years. If you fail an exam twice, that's it, you're out, kind of thing. People's lives are in your hands. You can't go making mistakes, can you?
That is very true. And
you've got to know what you're doing.
But
and half the time, to be fair, half the time you're running off instinct. If it's like an emergency situation, you run off instinct. Like I've had some serious cases with me and my work, and I've looked back and I've gone, what did I actually do there? Because I didn't think about what I did at all, and I don't remember what I did. I've switched off and just gone purely on instinct on helping the patient, you know. But that's just, it's the nature of the job. So
it is. And I mean, it's the nature of a lot of jobs too. Like, even in the education field, like, and I hate this. I don't know, like, what y'all do with this, but we have like all these drills that we have to do in school, and now like we have to do like these lockdown drills because of all of these school shootings that have happened in America. And for me, like, I've been trained in that. Like, I've been trained to like know what to do like in a situation. And I was looking at Facebook the other night, and I was watching these TikToks of these kids that are like middle school, high school age, and they were talking about what happened at the Capitol, and they were like, if somebody intrudes into the Capitol, here's what you need to do: barricade the doors and like run in a zigzag and stuff like that, because the kids know. The kids, like, they're literally like, you learn when you get into kindergarten what to do if there is an active shooter in your school, because we have that, like, issue.
It makes me want to cry, the fact that children have to do that and know that.
It sucks. Like, I think about it, and it's like, we teach these kids like every day they're going to be the next generation of doctors, of teachers, of lawyers, of people that are going to be like so involved in our lives. Yet we have to tell them that if somebody intrudes into your school, that you have to run in a zigzag so that they can't hit you. Like that, there was a kid, like there's a podcast that I saw.
Yeah.
And it was a podcast over this company. They were talking about, we need to do like this sort of like lockdown check and like drills for the company just in case something happens, you know. And you know who they bring in? They bring in a 6th grade girl to talk to them about lockdown drills, to talk to them about fire safety and tornadoes, because we teach these kids these things because we don't know what's going to happen.
You shouldn't have to teach children this. You shouldn't.
Well, and that's the thing. And there's like a whole nother side of it too, because there are teachers that I know that are like, well, we wouldn't have to worry about it if teachers could just have guns in the school.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand where that's coming from because of the self-defense and stuff like that. But two things go off of that. First of all, you shouldn't have to be afraid enough in the first place to bring a gun to school. Like, you shouldn't have to feel that way. But it's just the culture that we live in now.
You shouldn't have to feel that way anywhere, though.
And second of all, like, it's for self-defense, but like, a kid can get to it. Somebody that you may not like can get to it. Like, when I was in high school, there was a band kid who was a trumpet player, and he was bullied a lot because he was just very different from a lot of people. Just like brain-wise, his social skills weren't at the capacity of other people. But he was suspended indefinitely from the school district because he was making threats, like gun violence threats, to people. And whenever it was looked into, and we were told this, like when I graduated, I was told this because he was in our class. Like, our band director, I was talking to him about it, and I was like, do you remember my freshman year whenever this happened? And he was like, well, actually, like, we found a hit list in his locker that had people on it in a list, and like what their classes were and where they would be at specific times. And it baffles me that me as a teacher, I have to fear about that.
Yeah, you do. And the thing is, these kids, especially when they're with you for the best part of their day, their life is in your hands.
Exactly. Yeah, you have...
If something happened, you're the person who takes responsibility for those children at that point in time.
And it is crazy to think, because like you see in the year 2020, we've had more than 150 school shootings across the United States. Like,
and yet we haven't had one.
Yeah, I was like, just think of that number. Like, more than 150 over 365 days. That's like one school shooting every 2 days.
It's not acceptable.
I'm trying not to cry, but like...
No, I know. That's the thing. It is upsetting. And, these are children of the future. And this is what, one, they're having to go through. Two, you're showing them that actually, okay, so it's fine to just storm a school and shoot. Just fire bullets, these people can do it. So these kids are going to be traumatized by it and go, well, actually, you don't know what's going to happen to the children. They could go, well, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to go do that myself because this person did it to me when I was younger.
Yep.
You could go on and on about it. It's just not right. It's just not right. And a kid should not have to fear for an education. They should not fear to go and get educated.
And like,
they shouldn't.
That's why teaching love is so important, because so many of these crimes that happen are based off of hate. They're based off of somebody not liking something. They are based off of you not letting them be themselves. So they don't have any other alternative, because they don't think they have an alternative. And you see, God forbid, and like, it makes me cringe even thinking about it. You see people that think that school shootings are a hoax. You see people that blame school shootings off of kids playing video games.
You talk to the victims' families. See, that's hoax then. Yeah, okay.
It's what I don't understand, but in every situation, no matter how cruel it may be, there are always going to be different conceptions of what it actually means. Even with this, like, it's a big deal, and like, you and I were talking about, like, I don't understand how somebody could do this sort of thing. I don't understand how blah 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 blah, but like, we don't even know like what's going on in their head.
No, that's the thing. You don't. We're not mind readers. We're not psychic. And yes, the world could be a better place with people being psychic, but it could also be a worse place.
Yeah.
And as much as you can try to understand someone, you will never fully be able to. You won't. You will never fully be able to understand the reasons. And I think it's difficult, because especially for those families that have been involved and the kids that have been involved, I don't think they'll ever truly find peace from it. And I know for me, for sure, I would not want to bring my child up in America just for fear of them being shot in a school. I personally, I wouldn't. It's scary.
I like what somebody said. Where can I find it? Oh yeah, Fitz was like, when you talk to the students about what happens during like a school shooting and stuff like that, they're just the students are kind of meh about it because they're just numb to it now. Like, they just have to know it. They have to know what it is. It's not.
They just see it as like another daily kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's just how it is.
That's not fair. Sorry, I'm just gonna plug my charger in.
I love that we were able to talk about all of these sort of like hard topics, because I feel like, I mean, although I am an advocate for so many different things, like, having these political conversations, and I hope everybody in the chat, like, that you're thinking about this, but like having these political conversations with people that you trust is extremely important, because you need to understand.
And it's that mature conversation that you can have as well, not just I'm right, you're wrong. That's that kind of thing. And it's with someone who, I'm not in that situation, so I'm looking at it from an outside perspective in. You know, I'm as much as I'm familiar with your country, I don't know, I don't know facts and figures. I don't know, I didn't realize that it was literally at one school every other day, essentially, that's getting shot, and I think it's a good thing that people do talk politics. It's a healthy thing as long as you're respectful of each other's views.
Yes, and I think that's a big one. That's the kicker. And like, these are the conversations that you need to have with your parents. These are the conversations that you need to have with your best friends, because you will have these perspectives that you may not know the other side of things. Like, I am extremely grateful to have these two, literally, like, the only like, I hate saying this, but like the only heterosexual friends that I have in real life. Like, I trust them 110%, and we talk about the hard topics. We talk about, like, why being gay could be a sin, and, like, all that sort of stuff, because I want to know that perspective. And whenever they talk to me, they know that I'm going to be honest and have the information behind me. And that's something else.
For you, especially, I know you are very honest. And I know if I was to come to you and ask you something, you would tell it to me straight. If I was to say, John, do you think I'm right or wrong for this? I know you would go, well, actually, if I was wrong, you would go, yeah, you are wrong, but this is probably why.
Yes,
and you would explain it.
And that's another thing. Like, if you're going to talk about these political things with anybody, make sure that you are educated with both sides of what's going on. Because for me, especially being a teacher and going through like a 5.5-year education and all this sort of stuff, I've met so many people in my life that have different views than I do. But if I ever were to go into some sort of like controversial topic, I always have that other perspective in the back of my head. Yeah. And it's always good whenever I hear people, if I'm talking to somebody and I ask them something that may be a little controversial, that they're like, actually, I don't want to talk about this because I don't have enough information on the subject.
Completely.
That happened.
And I think as well, you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to do your research. Because at the end of the day, you're going to look like an idiot if you've gone and said something that's then not true, whilst trying to make not an argument, but obviously trying to have a discussion about it. And it's about being educated. And we have a plethora of resources to find that information. Google is your best friend. Yeah, literally, like, you can go online and find things, like, all of the questions, and as long as you look at an article that is, like, credible, like, your credible resources, and you know, like, this is what I'm looking for, then you'll be just fine. Completely. I think what Roosters just said is quite good, actually, is I don't think it's exactly trying to prove what's right and wrong, but to educate your point so others can make a more educated decision of what they believe. I think that's actually very good. Yes, I completely agree with that. It's so interesting whenever you do see, like, these people that will just go around and, like, spout lies for no reason whatsoever, yet they have people backing them 110%. Completely. For me, I'm just like, how? Like, how did you get there? But there are people that will believe anything nowadays. I could go on Twitter right now and post some spiel, which I have no idea what I'm talking about. I could post some random crap and lie about it and it not even be true. There'd be no truth to it. People could believe it because you believe what you see on social media. Social media is such a root of evil at times. It's ridiculous. At times, and then at other times you see cat memes and you're like, yes, actually hilarious.
I love
and
cats.
Can't forget the dog memes. Is a cat that's like against like the Real Housewives star, like across the table.
That's my.
That's
it's so good, and
that's so funny.
All right, so I know we talked about like a lot of heavy topics, but let's get into like some other stuff just to like have a little bit more fun with what's going on. So I want to talk to you about like some of the differences between America and Great Britain, and I want to like start with food. Because I love food. I'm sure that you love food.
I love food.
But
I love food.
It's crazy thinking about like how different things are. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of these things, but whenever, God, I can't remember what it's called, but there are like these blue boxes that you can buy, and if you, it's not an American thing, but there are these, God. Somebody in chat will know this. There's this like subscription. You can buy this subscription, and these people will give you these blue boxes.
Do you mean like HelloFresh and stuff?
I think so. I don't know what it's called. But they give you like this blue box. And when you open it, it's like food from a different country that you can snack. That there's like snacks from people like from different countries that you can. Yes, snack crate. That's what it's called. Snack crate. So I had that I had that subscription when I was in college, and it was always like hilarious because I would be like eating these snacks from these other countries, and then I'll look it up and they're not even like popular snacks.
No, they are like I remember I think I watched someone do a stream on it once, and they were like, actually this is disgusting. Like they really did not like the taste of it whatsoever. But I mean, I don't know what we'd put in ours. Like we'd probably put like our Cadbury's chocolate, because obviously like Cadbury's Dairy Milk is like the kind of staple like British chocolate that you get.
Okay.
Savory snacks, I mean, our savory snacks are quite like probably quite similar to yours, like nuts. Like we'd probably just chuck a bag of nuts in there. Like
well, what's funny is that like we don't even like consider that a snack really. Like,
what do you consider it?
They're just nuts. Like that. It's just what it is.
Just, like you grab a handful and just kind of snack on it.
But like we don't even like whenever I think of how Americans view what a snack is, we think of them as like you open up a bag and like you eat it out of the bag and stuff like that. But like people who like I love seeing people that are like, wait, so you consider a snack as like a gallon box of goldfish? And I'm like, yeah, like the gallon of goldfish. Yes.
We don't have goldfish. We don't have them. Like,
you don't have goldfish?
No, we don't have anything good here food-wise apart from chicken nuggets.
What?
I know. I know. Like, so our food is very, very different to yours. Like, we have what you guys call chips, we call crisps.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get that straight. We call it crisps. You guys call it chips. And then what we call chips, you call fries. So our goldfish are literal what we call fish. Like they are fish. Goldfish is not a snack. Goldfish is a pet. Like.
That's that's crazy.
We essentially, our snacks are probably like biscuits, like but sweet biscuits. So similar to cookies, but not how you kind of think. Like we have like what's called like rich teas, digestives, bourbons, custard creams. Like they're like a snack that you'd have with like say a cup of tea. Like snacks you'd get out of the fridge, kind of stuff. Like cheese strings, like so processed cheese, and then you'd like peel like all these like little pieces of cheese off and stuff.
See,
I'm trying to think what other, like, I mean, a packet of crisps, I guess, but...
See, like, we have that too, but I've always thought whenever I watch a lot of videos of like American versus British because I think they're some of the most hilarious things.
Honestly.
And
do you know what I love watching is man versus food. That's what I love watching. Just because I'm like, oh, this food looks so amazing compared to ours. Like, that's literally it.
Well, like, honestly. I have a question for you. Do you know what gumbo is?
No.
Like, no British people in the chat. If you're British in the chat, do you know what gumbo is?
Gus might know, because Gus is very well educated in the United States ways.
Well, it's funny because gumbo is such a huge thing in the South. And it's like from like Louisiana, and it came from the French. And whenever you think about it, like that area also like kind of has like the circumference of Great Britain as well. And when I was researching it, my family makes like our own gumbo with chicken and sausage, and like we have chicken broth and like all this sort of stuff that goes in it. And when I was researching it, like it kind of like died out in Great Britain because y'all don't have that sort of gumbo anymore. Y'all have more of a stew.
Yeah, I mean, like, we have stews and casseroles.
Yes, you have casseroles, but whenever I think of casserole, we only make casseroles for, like, holidays.
No, see, we could do it any day of the week kind of thing, like, for casseroles. Like, that, and essentially, I mean, I guess, like, that would essentially be your, like, your gumbo, I guess, kind of thing. We don't typically do fish in a kind of casserole or stew. We don't really do fish stew here.
Well, so whenever I think of casserole, I think of like, for me, it's like broccoli rice casserole. So like I put like broccoli and cheese and rice and we
in it.
Yeah.
You're making me question your decisions.
I know, but like that's what I think of. And like there are other casseroles like green bean casserole, where it's green beans and like fried onions and cheese.
So typical chicken casserole. Chicken casserole would be like chicken. You could throw some carrots in there, some broccoli in there, and it would be like in a gravy, but like not like a white gravy, like a brown gravy, like gravy. I don't know what you guys call our gravy. Like, I know you guys have a white gravy, but
yeah, we have different types of gravy.
Okay, so like a normal like roast dinner gravy, like a brown gravy. So like it would kind of be like in a kind of gravy kind of sauce, and then with some like a huge bit of mashed potato on the side. That's typically a chicken casserole.
Wait, so so chicken casserole to you is chicken, carrots, broccoli.
Yeah, generally some veg thrown in. Like peas or green beans in there.
Where would you put it in, like on a plate? Like just put it on the plate, or like put it in a bowl?
No, chuck it in a slow cooker and then dish it up onto a plate. Because the sauce isn't like kind of like really watery. It's a bit thick, kind of thing. What's the other one? Dumplings as well. You guys must have heard of dumplings.
Oh, yeah.
You guys must have. Oh, yeah, they are. Oh, dumplings with a stew. Best thing ever.
Okay, but like, what is your definition of a dumpling? Before I say that I know what it is.
Like, it's like a doughy kind of product. It's like made of like yeast.
Yeah, yeast dough. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I want to make sure because you never know. You never know what could happen. It's like a doughy biscuit. Yeah, but it's a doughy biscuit.
Exactly. So like, I mean, that's like thing, like a typical kind of British dish, or like a typical British one here is fish and chip Friday. Like it's literally known as fish and chip Friday, which is battered fish, like chucked in a fryer, and chips, or like what's called a battered sausage. So you get like a sausage, and it's literally coated in batter.
Yeah, I like Kaiser's description of what a casserole is in America. So what a casserole is in America is you put everything in a glass pan and you put it in the oven. That's like what it is for us. Like we put in. So like what I was talking about broccoli rice, we put broccoli, cheese, and rice in a glass pan, and then we put it in the oven, and then you serve it from that.
Do you cook the cheese? Do you cook the cheese? Do you cook the rice beforehand? Or do you chuck it straight in and let it cook in there?
Yeah, we cook the rice beforehand.
Okay. Good. How do you cook your rice, John?
How do I cook my rice?
Yeah. Do you cook it properly?
I cook it in a bowl.
Do you rinse your rice?
Like in a pan? Yes, of course I rinse my rice.
Okay, thank God. There we go.
You'd be stupid not to.
Well, you tell that to my mum.
Yes, we boil rice in water in a little bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
Either that or
your pasta. Do you salt your pasta when it goes in?
What? Like you mean like sprinkle like a little water on the pasta?
No. You have your pasta cooking.
Okay.
Do you put salt in the water?
No.
Oh, you need to do that. That's like a...
It's like, what?
You need to start doing that. You need to salt your pasta water. Like, literally, crack some salt into it whilst it's cooking. Perfect. Always salt your pasta. I dated an Italian for like 2 years.
Hey, you were like, this is all I got from him. This is all I needed from him.
Yes. Trauma wasn't needed, but that's what I got as well.
When I oh gosh, we have this thing. I know that y'all don't have this in the UK, or at least I wouldn't think so. But we have this spice line called Tony Chachere's. And it's so these Tony Chachere's is like a spice line. It's very popular in the South, like Texas, Louisiana, Florida. And it's like these spices, but it has seasoning in it as well. So like if you go to the store and you're making tacos, like you would get taco seasoning, right?
Is it like a jar of spice kind of
thing?
It's
a literal jar of spice.
Okay.
And you put it like in whatever it is. But like there's like taco seasoning, there's gumbo seasoning, there's just regular seasoning, there's salt, pepper, but like it's funny because I am so used to it that if I go, like, it doesn't affect me anymore, but like when I have friends that aren't from the South and they come and like have my food, they're like, oh my gosh, like, why'd you put so much spice in here? And I was like, what do you mean? I put like a tablespoon of Tony.
Do you have your food really spicy?
No. Not at all.
Is that your kind of like, I don't notice it, so it's a no kind of thing? Or
no, like I notice spice.
Spicy food.
I notice spice, but I have like a mild, like whenever I think about it, I can have like mild spice. I can't have like pepper, like red chili pepper spice. Like I think jalapenos are spicy.
Yeah, okay. So you'd be like a Nando's medium kind of thing.
I don't know what that means, but...
Okay, so Nando's is a restaurant here in the UK. Like,
okay. Is that like a big thing?
Nando's? Yeah, it's a big thing, yeah. And actually, their food is really good.
Okay.
They do really, really good food. But you can choose how spicy you want your food. So they have like a lemon and herb one to start off with. Then they have medium, hot, extra hot, and like some kind of like blowing your mouth off kind of thing. See, that's right. Everyone in England knows about that.
What kind of food is it?
Chicken. Or it's like, it's chicken. It's like Portuguese kind of thing.
Oh.
So my typical order is a chicken, is like a couple of breasts of chicken in a pita with lettuce, got mushroom on it? No, it's got lettuce, caramelized onion, and garlic aioli. And oh my god, is it to die for? I think it might have a bit of mushroom. I can't remember. But it is so good. And then you just choose your heat however much you want. Oh I miss
So
Nando's.
So it's not like chicken fingers or chicken wings. It's actually like
No. You can get a whole chicken on your plate if you wanted. You could literally be like, I want to have a whole chicken. Yeah, literally, you could be like, give me a whole chicken, extra hot, and then you could have a plate of rice on the side and some chips.
Good. That
It's
sounds
so
good. So we have.
Yes, the chicken's alive. It comes clucking at you. It literally
So
comes clucking. Off
I
the
think
plate.
it's funny. I can't think of like something that goes along that perspective of like chicken and like the certain spices, but we do. I can't believe I'm gonna talk about this. So we have like these chicken finger places, and
like as in like chicken nuggets, but like long.
Yeah, like longer chicken nuggets.
So like fish fingers, but
chicken. Yeah, fish fingers, but chicken.
Okay.
And we, like, there are places. So we have so many different restaurants that are just chicken fingers. So we have Cane's, which is like this chicken finger place where it's literally you get 3 chicken fingers, 4 chicken fingers, 5 chicken fingers, or a sandwich that has 3 chicken fingers in it. And there's only one sauce. It's Cane's sauce, and it's the only thing that you can get.
What kind of sauce is it?
It's kind of like, I don't even know how to do it. Oh my gosh.
Chat,
how would you describe Cane's sauce? It's not even sweet and sour. It's just kind of like, I don't even know what to even like.
I like how Gus had to say it's like chicken select, Emily. Like I would then know because I would, because that's like our McDonald's.
But there's also another chicken finger place called Lane's. And Lane's...
Cane's and Lane's.
Yeah, so Lane's is a chicken finger place. It's basically the same thing, but it's more of a like diner-esque place.
Okay.
And so you can get like milkshakes and stuff like that along with your meal. Like the thing was what am I thinking about? They had like hash brown casserole and like a little pot or something like that you can buy. But Lane's has like a spice selection of like dipping sauces. So like it starts out with like ranch honey mustard, and then it goes into like really, really hot sauce. And I'm just like, why would you enjoy chicken fingers, dipping chicken fingers into something that literally will numb your tongue? Like,
see, that's what I don't understand about people in spicy food. Like, why go so spicy to the point where you are sweating, to the point where you can't breathe properly, to the point where you've got tears coming out of your eyes? You're not big, you're not funny from it. You're just ruining your taste buds.
Well, we have a game show for it.
Yeah.
We have a whole game show based off of eating chicken wings and seeing how hot you can get.
Yeah. And it's just like the guys, like so we have like a maintenance team at work called like the estates team.
Okay.
And they all do what's like a hot sauce challenge, and they all bring in different hot sauces, and they will just try and outdo each other.
Nope. And
these are like 50-year-old men.
Not
like,
me.
You guys don't ever grow up. Come on. Like, why ruin something for yourself? Like,
true.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But I love food. Would you say you're sweet or savory? If you had to choose.
Sweet, definitely sweet.
I am sweet.
All the way sweet. I love...
Okay.
Sugar is like my enemy. Okay. Like
favorite sweet then. Tell me your favorite sweet.
Shit.
Have to choose. If you had to choose, and it would be the one thing which you had to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
The one thing that I had to eat for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't even think I could choose. Honestly, this is going to sound so weird, but I would probably go with ice cream.
Okay. Chocolate ice cream?
I would go with, if I had to choose a flavor of ice cream, I'd probably go with mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Gus got it.
No, I know Gus got it. We can talk about it though. So, chat, for those of you that don't understand the chocolate ice cream joke that we just had. So, me, what was it? It was me, Gus, you, and Nikki, right? So we were in mod chat and Gus was saying something about how he was hungry. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna buy something and send it to him without him knowing. So I already had his address because he bought a Legend jersey. So I already had his address. So I put it in. I can't even, was it like Uber Eats? I can't even remember. Yeah. So I was looking at it. I plugged in the address and it gave me like all of these restaurants that were near. And I was like, I want to give him like a treat, so you know? And I was like, okay, so...
I'm laughing at it because I still remember.
I can't. So I pulled up this site, or I pulled up this restaurant or whatever, this shop, and it had chocolate boxes, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds like so cool. Like it could be if Gus doesn't like one of these chocolates. If Gus doesn't like one of these chocolates, then like he doesn't have to eat it, and he could just eat another one that he likes. So I buy it, and it gets to... He's
like, oh, I've ordered you it, and he's like, mate, what, you ordered me? I might not like it.
He thinks that I'm buying him, like, steak or something. Like, something that he may not like. He was like, if anything, just buy me McDonald's. And I was like, no, I got you a box of chocolates. And he was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So it gets there...
I'm just laughing. I remember the picture.
So it gets to Gus's house. I'm crying. So it gets to Gus's place. And it's not a box of chocolates. It is a literal chocolate ice cream box. Like, it is styrofoam. You open up the styrofoam, and it's just a block of chocolate ice cream.
Like, when we say chocolate ice cream, we mean it's like literally.
Yeah, it was
thick.
so
It was deep. It was literally, it was like that long. It was that deep, and I was just like,
I was dying. Because I legit thought, I was like, oh my god, it could be like a box of like 30 assorted chocolates. But when it said box of chocolate, I didn't think it was a literal box of chocolate ice cream.
We were, to be fair, we were all creasing. Like, we couldn't stop laughing. One, because the fact you'd actually ordered him some food. But two, for the fact that this chocolate box of ice cream had just turned up at his doorstep.
Dying.
And he was like, John, he's like, you do realise, like, this is what's turned up? And you were like, what? And you're like,
I was like, I thought it was chocolates. Oh my gosh, you found the photo? Wait, Gus, send it to me so that I can put it on stream.
Oh my god, please.
I have to, yes, send it to me right now. I need to put it on stream so that people know what it looked like, because it was hilarious. I couldn't, I was in class at that point and I was dying. I like had to leave the room because I couldn't, like, okay. I just see the photo and I'm dying already. Oh god, okay. So
put it up on the screen, I want to see
it. I'm putting it up on the screen right now.
Oh,
I can't. Also, Gus's smile is like to die for. Oh my god, why did it turn it sideways? Hello? Can you not turn sideways? I don't know why it's sideways.
Hello?
Okay, but like I know it's sideways, but you can still get the... Okay, look at that box. I know it's sideways. But just look at this box. Like I said, styrofoam box of chocolate ice cream. I was crying.
so
I
funny.
was crying, guys.
So,
I was dying. Death and despair.
something else. So if anyone ever wants food ordered from John, just know it might not be what you're.
It might not be
expecting to
what I say. I could say that I'm getting you a burger and fries, and then it turns up that it's like a gummy burger and fries. Like I just you never know. Like
you don't honestly. Just putting it out there. Putting it out there. Okay, so you still haven't said what. Okay, so it would be ice cream. Would that be your choice?
Now that you're saying like, if I had to pick like a food for the rest of my life, it would be a savory food. But
would it be goldfish?
Oh my god. You know I love goldfish. Goldfish and Cheez-Its are my vices. I don't know if you have Cheez-Its.
No, but we do have something similar called mini cheddars.
Oh, that sounds so cute.
They're cute. They're like about that big. They're about that big. And
wait, I have to look
like
this up.
Cheez-Its.
Mini cheddars.
Yeah. CHEDDA.
Wait, are they like? Really are they circular?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they look so cute.
They're so tasty, and they do bigger ones as well. They do bigger ones, like kind of like cracker sized.
Oh my gosh, they're adorable.
Something like round cracker sized, and they're really tasty.
They kind of look like the equivalent to like a cheesy Ritz cracker.
They taste better than cheesy Ritz. Ritz, to me, they're like not that great, but they have got like they're just like they've got like a few different flavors and stuff, and they have then obviously got like that's the standard like original one, and they've kind of like branched out a bit here and there with it, but it's really really good either way. Really really good either way. So you know it's good. I mean, for me, I'm definitely savory and stuff.
I don't know. I love my sweets way too much. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I could survive in a world without chocolate. I don't think I could. I really don't.
For me, I was a big sweet person. I was a big sweet person when I was younger. You literally, I would eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. Like chocolate, sweets, the lot. And for me now, it's got to be a bag of crisps. You give me a bag of crisps, I will demolish it. Like, demolish kind of thing. It will be, the bag could be that big and it will go straight in one sitting.
Okay, and just so that I know, that I make sure I know what's happening. When you reference crisps, you're talking about chips.
Yes.
Okay, but when I say chips, you think of our French fries.
No, because I just kind of get it now that you actually do mean crisps.
That's so crazy.
It's like our crisps. I know. It's we like, I mean, half the time it's us adapting.
But aren't your chips French fries?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, well, no, technically the little thin ones are French fries. That's what we call French fries.
Oh.
Like the ones that you get from like McDonald's, they're technically what we call French fries. But like chips, they're thicker. You get like steak cut chips, which are like really like thick chips. Oh my god, they are to die for.
Okay.
Steak cut chips are the one.
Okay, so I just looked up. American English words and their British counterpoints, and I want to talk about this because I think some of these are so funny.
Okay.
Why is it called a bubbler? Why is it called a bubbler? Do you not know what that is?
You need to send me this link. Send me this link so I can look at it as well, because I'm like...
Okay, so... Freaking... I don't know... It's the one thing that I've always been so confused about, is British people calling water fountains bubblers.
I mean, I call a water fountain a water fountain. I don't call it a bubbler.
Here you go.
Okay, give me this, and let me have a look.
Like, some of these are fine.
What's a hair slide and a barrette? Do you mean like a Kirby grip?
Wait.
Like a pin? Like a pin?
Where
like
do you see that? Where do you see that?
Number four. A barrette?
A beret.
Oh, a barrette. That's not how you spell beret.
That's what we call it. It's not a barrette.
A hair slide. See, wait, okay, so explain to me what a beret is.
No, you explain to me what a hair slide is.
No. Okay, so a hair slide to me would be a hair grip. You know, like a bobby pin. Like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what... Okay, so that's what... Oh, I'm thinking... Yeah, it's barrette. So, a barrette is like...
Okay.
If you have long hair, and it's like a pin... It's not a bobby pin. It's not a bobby pin. But because it has like... It's like a clip. So, like, it's something to clip your hair back.
Oh, okay, so you kind of, like, mean... So, like, it would be like a kind of putting it into, like, a kind of thing.
No, that's a bobby pin.
No, but it's in like an actual kind of clip, like a specific clip kind of thing. So like say it'd be like one to like roll into it kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
So
okay,
like
let's have a look at
that was a weird one. I was like, what the heck is a hair slide? Okay, I know y'all say wardrobe instead of closet, which I think is really hilarious because we have coming out of the closet, and I feel like coming out of the wardrobe just doesn't have that same
we don't
spark
say,
to it.
No, I was gonna say we don't really kind of say coming out of the wardrobe. We just say coming out.
I love that's
okay.
It's funny. Oh,
yeah.
Petrol.
Yeah, that's fuel.
So we call it gas, which I think is one really stupid because it's not gas, it's liquid.
It's petroleum. That's like the official name for it is petroleum. And yet we have petroleum and diesel. So what do you call diesel?
Diesel. We have diesel.
Say that one again, one more time.
Diesel.
Okay, so you call diesel, but you call petrol gas.
Yes. Am I wrong, chat? Am I wrong?
Are you wrong? That was very British, John. Am I wrong?
Yes, gas is short for gasoline, but we have diesel gas. So whenever you go to a gas station, what do you call a gas station?
Petrol station.
That's what you call it?
Literally, a petrol station.
Okay. So, and that's like where you go.
That's like the same as you guys calling it a gas station, though.
Okay. So, like, whenever you go up to the gas station, there are like 3 segments of gas. It's like 89, 91, 93 or something.
Yeah, like the octane.
And then we have a green one that's diesel.
Okay.
So we have 3 pumps that are gray, and then we have one pump that's green.
Do you have leaded and unleaded?
Yes.
Fuel? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so that's the same. So that's what we've got. Do you have people that do it for you?
No.
Okay, neither do we.
I've never heard of people doing your gas for you.
They have that in a lot of European countries.
I'm sure there are some places here that do that.
Yeah. A lot of European countries do it, but not here. It's all like done ourselves here. Okay.
And the one underneath that, what?
A bonnet.
What?
Bonnet. That is literally the hood of the car. It's just like pop bonnet.
Did you say pop?
A bonnet.
Did you say
like
pop a bonnet?
Yeah, pop the bonnet.
Pop the bonnet.
Yeah, like you'd say pop the hood.
Yeah, we say pop the hood. Pop the bonnet?
Pop the bonnet. Yeah, bonnet.
So,
but bonnet is like
but what is the thing that you put on your head?
That's also a bonnet. Yeah, yeah, that is also a bonnet.
So they're just both a bonnet, but like.
Yep. Why do you guys call it a parking lot?
Why do we call it a parking lot?
Yeah, we call it a car park because you park your car.
We call it a parking lot because you park in the lot.
What's the lot?
The lot is the cemented area.
The car park.
Car park. It sounds like a cute place that like kids would go to like park their fake cars. Like
We won't.
it's like a
John,
playground for cars.
John, it's a playground for something else. So why do you call it? Right, okay, right. This always gets me.
Okay.
Right, when people say period. with a
Yeah.
t on the end.
Period.
Yeah, but what people like when they go on the end.
Yeah, what
they're
about
saying
it?
With a T.
Yeah, it's
Is it spelled with a T?
no. So period is spelled Period.
Yeah.
And whenever you spell it with a T, it's more of a sassy remark.
Okay.
So whenever you think about it, like, okay, think about if you say something that's like, I completely agree with what you say.
Mm-hmm.
So you say something like, the color purple is the best color in the world, or something like that. Like, I wouldn't even know. But I would say period with a T because I wholeheartedly agree with you, and it's a little bit sassier. If I said
actually like in the language, is that actually like
no,
in
it's
the
not.
dictionary?
It's
okay.
It's not. It's actually. It's funny that you mention it because it actually derives from gay diction. It comes from the LGBT community.
Oh. Okay,
and
cool.
we have a lot of things from the LGBT community
love it.
that you probably wouldn't know.
Hi, Bree. Bree has just tuned in.
Do you know what? Do you know what the phrase "okurt" means? Like OKRRR.
Okay, so I've heard it on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Okay.
And they're like, oh,
I'm sure you have.
isn't it? Like, oh.
Of course you get your reference from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Of course.
But please explain.
Okay, so that derived from Cardi B. And it was this sort of like homage to Black heritage. And it kind of means it's like the same as you saying like yes, like that. It's basically the same thing, but you can use it in like a whole bunch of different contexts. So like you can say it like that. The real meaning is like saying like yes, like I agree with you, like okur, like yes. But there are other meanings to it, like okur, like kind of like. So
you, like,
it's
roll your R's?
Oh yeah, you roll your R. Like you.
Okay.
And you have to go up with it. You have to go up with it.
Okay.
It has to go up. So like you start low and then it goes high.
Oh my god! I'm so sorry for anyone's eardrums hearing this. Like, me and John
we're just expressing ourselves the best that we can.
Honestly, okay. So we've done that.
I do know that y'all call cotton candy floss for some reason.
Candy floss is amazing.
Wait, okay.
So nice.
Number 28.
Number 28.
Liquor store.
Yeah, we call it an off license.
An off license. What?
I don't know. It probably has something to do with the fact that you obviously need a license to buy alcohol, and you will probably get ID'd.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It probably has something to do with that, but alcohol here, I don't know. It must be. I'm sure it's the same for you. Actually, I don't know. Can you buy alcohol in supermarkets? Can you go to like Walmart and?
Oh yeah, like you can go to.
And buy it from there.
I was like there are states that you can, like in Texas you can, but I do know some states that they don't allow that, and you have to go to like a liquor store.
Oh,
But
wow.
in supermarkets, they have a very different selection. So like,
Okay.
just think of it as like very minimized. So like, it's
Yeah.
basically everything that you would like, all the popular stuff, like Budweiser beers and like stuff like that. I don't even know if you know what Budweiser is.
Yeah.
But,
Oh no, we have Budweiser here.
okay, but like,
Yeah.
that's what you'd find in a supermarket. But then if you go to a liquor store, that's where you find like everything. Like,
Okay, so
anything
like
and everything.
ale or something like that, like traditional kind of ale. So you can get all of that at the supermarket here. I mean, you get more kind of, I don't know how, like maybe like more posher brands, more select brands. So like obviously, you know, you get like your Jack Daniel's whiskey, you can get that at the supermarket. But say there's like, I don't know, like another brand that's like a small kind of family run business, but actually like they do a really good whiskey, you can probably find that more so an off license or a liquor store.
Yeah. So, and I think it's funny because I don't know what other Americans call this. We do have like supermarket, but we call it a grocery store.
Yeah, you guys do. Do you know actually in Europe, in France specifically, they have what's called a supermarché and a hypermarché. So it's dependent, and I think there's one more. It's dependent on the actual size of the store.
Oh, that makes sense.
How it gets bigger. Yeah, that.
Supermarché. I
Yeah,
love
so
that.
that's specifically for French. They actually are called supermarché and hypermarché in French. So
I just passed by the parking lot car park.
I just passed by the parking lot car park. Oh my god.
Wait, okay, 31.
Okay.
Dummy it. What?
What?
The thing that you put in a baby's mouth.
A
What
dummy.
do you?
Yeah, it's a dummy. It's not a pacifier, it's a dummy. I don't know. It's a dummy.
Why?
Why do you call it a pacifier?
I don't know.
We just call it a dummy. Like, yeah. Like I that's just what it's always been for us. Like, and how you call it a diaper, we call it a nappy. Like,
That's so interesting.
okay, so like, I mean, what about like underwear? Do you call underwear like do you call them like boxers? Like,
Well, you can call them, I mean, you have different kinds of underwear. You have boxers, you have briefs, you have boxer briefs, you have...
Okay, so they're like kind of like the same thing. I didn't know whether it kind of like followed on with like adulthood and stuff.
Yeah,
like that kind of
no,
thing.
we have virtually the same thing, but they're all
Okay.
like different styles, you know?
Okay. Okay. Right, explain this one to me. Jaywalking.
Jaywalking. Okay, so jaywalking is when you are crossing a street and you're either not on the crosswalk or you're going whenever you're not supposed to walk.
Okay, so like when the man is red.
Yeah, so when the man is red and you're jaywalking, you're walking while it's red.
Okay. Is it illegal?
It is in some states.
Wow. You should see half of us here, half of us like literally do it as like a game of chicken. Like, no, seriously.
What?
Like, this is like the games which we used to play as kids here, right? We would sit in the middle of the road and wait for a car to come play chicken, and see how close the car could get before you ran off of the road.
Oh,
Honestly,
that's
no joke.
terrible.
Raising our kids right here, guys. Raise them to be like, Mama didn't raise no quitters.
Yeah, so like jaywalking, like
Okay.
it also is if you are walking on a street and there's not a crosswalk there. So like, do you know what a crosswalk is? Like
That's just the pavement, isn't it? Pavement.
the crosswalk
Well,
is
the
like,
crosswalk is the bit in between the road, like with the
yeah, the bit in between
line.
the roads with the white lines.
yeah.
So whenever there's not a crosswalk there and you're walking, it's jaywalking. And you can be arrested for jaywalking or given a fine for it.
Wow. Why?
I don't know.
Like, why is that something which is illegal? Because I'm sorry, how many times have you actually like?
Well, like, let me ask you this: what, in your neighborhood, what is your speed limit?
So ours varies. So in a residential area, it is a 30, unless you've got a school nearby, and then they have like lights like flashing on a sign. Then it drops down to 20.
Okay.
There is a main road just up from my house, which is a 40. All the way through town, all the way through the main part of my town, like literally where all the shops are, is a 20-mile-an-hour limit. Because obviously it's a residential kind of like, it's an area where you could get like kids and everyone just running out. Kind of
okay.
It's 20. As soon as you get towards the outskirts of town, it's a 30. So.
But like, so for you, what is the highest speed limit that you've driven?
Through my town?
Yeah. No, just
Legally?
highest. Like highest speed limit in general that you've seen.
Wait, hold on. So the highest that I've driven in general, anywhere, or is in?
Yeah, in general, anywhere. Just like the highest speed limit.
I have done 110 miles an hour.
And was that the speed limit? Like, what was the speed limit for that?
No, that was very much breaking the speed limit when the speed limit was 70 miles an hour. If I got pulled over, I would have lost my life.
Okay, see, there's a road in Texas that is 95 miles per hour speed limit.
I like that road.
So that's why I'm like, Chicken is like kind of scary because like the main road that's like right next to my house. So like our residential area is 30, but like you get on the main road and it's 50.
Yeah.
Okay. Like 55. So I'm like, what?
Yeah. So like obviously ours, like, so obviously that kind of speed, that's like what, like our motorway. So like your freeways and highways, I guess that's what you call them. However, so I was doing it on one stretch of motorway where I know it didn't have speed cameras, and I know that there was no police watching because it's a toll road and no one ever goes down there, and it is so easy. But outside my house, where you can play chicken, the speed is 30. But again,
see, I think it's
kids.
I think it's so funny because in our residential areas, like parents will literally go on Facebook and like yell at other parents for them going like 1 mile an hour over the speed limit. And they're like, what would happen if my kid was in the road? And you're over here talking about sitting in the middle of the road waiting for a car to run over you.
I drive 10 miles an hour over my speed limit all the time down my road. And I know I shouldn't, but when I do it, it's generally when I'm coming home from work when there is no kids about, because at 8 o'clock at night, everyone's just,
we're like so active at 8 o'clock at night. There are kids still at the park, you know.
Yeah, whereas, obviously here, especially in like on winter and stuff, not at all. But yeah, for us, like at that time, that I know there's going to be no cars. The trouble with me is that when I come home at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, after doing a night shift, I've got a school on the road up from me, so I know that there's going to be kids around, and I know that, and you can't trust teenagers not to mess about, can you? Like push each other and stuff. All it takes is for one kid to get pushed by another into the road in front of me, and then
very true.
Exactly. It's not necessarily the driver, it's sometimes the kid. How many times have you seen the fact that it's like a ball has come shooting out into the road and the kid has come and followed it? That's what happens, you know.
True.
But I know for us, we were very fortunate growing up in the area that we have done, because it's like, generally speaking, I've nearly gotten run over once, but that wasn't actually from playing a game of chicken. That was genuinely and it was a teacher. It was a substitute teacher from my school, and like I was intent. I swear to God, she saw it was me and was trying to kill me. I swear to God, she sped up, and there was no way that she was going 30 miles an hour, because she left tire marks and there was smoke coming from how hard she had to brake. Yeah. And she was like, "What is your name?" Because she was Eastern European and everything. She was like, "What is your name?" She started screaming at me, tried to follow me home. I had to take a detour, I had to cut through the woods, and I ran back up like the woods, back up to my house. Like,
you were like, "No, not today."
I was like, "This woman." No, I was like, "No, this woman is not coming for me." So I ran from her.
All right, let's see what else. Oh, whenever I saw a video the other day, and it was like, okay, United States, the next word is pavement. And then it was like, yeah, well, we call it a sidewalk because we walk on the side.
And what do you call the stuff which lets the other person, when you're driving, you know, the orange lights on the side of your car that indicate which direction you're going?
Your blinkers?
Literally just called them what you should be calling them. Indicators. They indicate where you're going.
We call them either turn signals or blinkers.
Okay, turn signals make sense. But blinkers...
Yeah, because they blink. They blink in the direction that you're supposed to go.
We call them blinkers because they blink.
They blink. They go boop,
literally the
boop,
answer.
Boop,
That's
boop.
literally the answer which I was looking for.
America go boo.
America go. Oh
Ask her to say aluminum.
No, John, what does that word say?
Aluminum.
No, it's because she spelt it wrong. This is the word. There you go. I've typed the word in the chat. Now, everyone, this is the word which we use. This is word of the day, John.
Aluminum.
No, read it again. Word of the day.
Aluminum. No. It's not. Where'd the I come from?
The I always been there. You guys took the I out because you guys are lazy. Aluminium.
Wait, what do you mean? It's aluminum.
Aluminium. What? Aluminium. Say aluminium.
Aluminium.
There you go. You said it perfect. Now stick to it.
Aluminum.
You're going to be different, John. You're going to teach your kids how to say aluminium.
I looked it up right now and I'm confused.
Basically, it's American English and British English. There's just differences between the two.
That's crazy.
Yeah, mad.
Wait, so how do you say, oh god, I don't even know how to reference this because I don't know if it's the same. Okay. So the school that kids go to when they're like really young, like 5.
Oh, you call it kindergarten. Is that it? You call it kindergarten?
Well, we call it kindergarten, but like the school.
Oh, we call it primary school.
Oh, okay.
What do you guys?
So you have primary and secondary.
Yeah, yeah.
So there are a lot of places in America that do primary and secondary, but for my school district, we have elementary, middle, high, or junior high.
Okay.
Junior high, senior high. But I've heard a lot of people say elementary instead of elementary, and it confuses me.
That for me is just, it's simply
like, it is spelled T-A-R-Y. There is an A there, so it's elementary. Don't take the A out.
Paige, I call that autumn.
Fall.
Paige said, what do you call the season that's in September through to November?
Fall.
Autumn. But going back to the whole elementary stuff, I say elementary.
Mm-hmm.
But that's generally because, like, our speech has gotten worse over the years. Like, I could say words with the letter T in it, like I don't know, like the Pokemon Rattata. But I could pronounce the first T and not the second T. It could be like Rattata. I could pronounce the first T but not the second.
Rattata.
Rattata instead of Rattata. Like,
do you do that often?
Hakuna Matata. All the time.
Hakuna
My
Matata.
speech is terrible. Yeah, instead of saying Hakuna Matata, I'd say
Tata.
Hakuna Matata. Like,
Tata.
I don't pronounce... and it's simple, it's just laziness with pronunciation. Like, I would say butter, not butter.
I just saw one of these.
What?
Knots and crosses?
Noughts and crosses. Why do you call it tic-tac-toe? Where is it? What
Knots and crosses? I'm dying. That sounds so formal. Knots and crosses.
It's literally... Right, so why do you call it tic-tac-toe?
Because you tick the tack of the toe. Like, it's so tic-tac-toe, whenever we say tic-tac-toe, it's kind of like...
Tic-tac-no.
Tic-tac-no. So, I'm trying to think about what tic-tac-toe means, because whenever I think of tic-tac-toe, I think of, like, it stacking, so you know how you have to get, like, a group of 3?
Yeah.
So, like, I think of it as stacking, so, like, tic-tac-toe is, like, kind of, like, top, middle, bottom.
You said it as knots, not noughts. It's naught. You said not. That's why.
Not. What?
Naught.
Not.
Naught.
Not. I'm sorry! I don't know.
Naught. Try like saying it as N-O-R-T.
Naught.
Naught. Like wart, but naught.
Not. Not. I'm saying it. I'm saying it with an R. Nort.
Nor.
Nort.
Nort. Like that. Yeah,
Nort.
That's better.
Norts and...
So Nort is spelt like N-O-U-G-H-T. So it's actually noughts to stand for a 0, because that's what naught actually is. It's the number 0 and crosses.
Oh.
It's noughts and crosses. So that's why we call it noughts and crosses.
I don't know why we call it tic-tac-toe.
Noughts and crosses.
Do y'all have tic-tacs?
Yeah. Okay. Mints.
Yeah, the little bit. I was like...
I like them.
Maybe that's why.
What?
I don't... Beats
like
me,
that.
I don't know.
See... Yeah... See, it says here, so our public school is your private school.
Wait.
And our state school is your public school.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense, because state school for us is like, if I think of the state's school, that's like a public school open to people of the state.
So your private school is school that you have to pay for, right?
Yes, private school is school you have to pay for.
Okay, but we call that private here, which is really strange. It's... As much as it is, like Gus could probably correct me if I'm wrong, as much as it is a public school, it's commonly or more commonly referred to as private, because it's a private education you're getting.
Yeah.
Which is strange. But
well,
like that's quite backwards.
So so I'm still stuck on this tic-tac-toe cross thing, mabob. So whenever you sign a letter, XOXO.
Yeah.
Is that what you say? XOXO?
Yeah. No. We literally, kind of. We don't really sign a letter saying XOXO. This is a common thing which British people do. We put kisses at the end of our messages.
Oh.
An X.
Yeah, we would never.
An X is a kiss.
We would never. We would say XOXO, but like...
Yeah. An X is a kiss. So if I, I've sent it, I think, yeah, see, like, Brie knows, like, she'll message me, and and it's just common, like, it's just a common thing. Like, it will just be because it's just out of habit. Like, I'll message my mum, and every single message, I'll add 3 kisses on the end of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's literally it. Gus is like, I didn't get kisses. That's because, Gus...
Gus, you're a guy.
Are reserved for special people like Brie and my mother.
Oh,
and to be fair, Brie doesn't get it all that often.
You just
called
Gus not special.
No, not special as my mother, Aubrey. As special.
Oop.
Anyways, so that's British text messaging for you.
Woo! We love British text messaging.
Yeah, British texting is quite different because obviously, okay, so you guys typically iMessage and stuff. Obviously,
Yes.
you have Samsung and stuff. So we have text messages and we have a thing called WhatsApp.
Yeah, we have WhatsApp.
Used over there though.
Yeah, it's not
WhatsApp.
used over here.
WhatsApp here, literally every single one of my friends has WhatsApp.
That's crazy.
Every single one. Because like it doesn't cost you. It comes out of your data. It doesn't come out of your text messages. Like I don't know. Do you guys have you have contract phones, like phone contracts?
Yeah.
But what do you call them? Contracts?
Phone contracts.
Okay, so you do call them that.
Yeah.
And obviously you get like certain minutes and everything a month, kind of thing. So we have that as well. But obviously the text messages that you send, if I was to send a text message to an iPhone, obviously that would come out as a text message, but I can send a WhatsApp and it comes out of my data.
Oh.
So much simpler. You're like,
wow. What?
Mind equals blown. Yeah.
Mind equals blown. Well, that's
Mind
not an equal sign. Equals.
Equals.
All right. Well, I think that's about all the time that we have for today. I just want to say thank you, Emily, for coming in. I really much enjoyed this. We had some really deep conversations. We had some fun convos.
It was.
All right, let me find someone to
Chat,
raid.
thank you as well. Thank you for being great. Thank you for being... Wow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to us ramble on for over 2 hours.
Over 2 hours.
That's mad. This has been fun. Thank you so much for having me. I've loved it.
Alright, I'm going to raid... Let's see, we're going to raid my girl, Emily. Alex Emily, because she's amazing and I love her. Alright, let's see. I need to go to my chat. Alright, so be looking forward to next week. I will have another person. Super excited.
Special guest.
Super excited. I hope that y'all have a great rest of your day. Here we go. Let's see here. Alright. Here's the link. Hashtag NintenjohnRaid. There's the... Oh! That's not what I wanted to do. Here's the link. There you go. All right, everybody get on over there. Remember to stay classy, but keep it sassy, and I will see y'all later.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye, everyone.